Perfect. So just to start off this class, I'll start by mentioning what you're supposed to cover tonight. So tonight we're going to have a quick theory class, and in this class we are going to discuss about the Web3. Then under Web3 we're going to look at NFTs. We're going to look at the Metaverse, and we're going to look at, let me just rephrase again, we're going to look at Web3, NFTs, and the Metaverse. Under that, we're going to look at what is Web3, the evolution of the internet, benefits of Web3, why Web3, or rather what you call blockchain, and who should get into blockchain. And lastly, we're going to look at NFT and the Metaverse. So navigating straight to that, let me just go to my second slide. So we are going to start by defining actually what Web3 is. So to understand Web3, it is important for us to look at how the internet has evolved from Web 1, Web 2, and now what we call the Web 3. So let's start with what Web 1 was. Web 1 was the read-only era. So what was happening during the read-only era? The internet started gaining momentum around 1960s, but it became more publicly accessible and mainstream in 1993. This is not that important, but just good to mention. So this was the era of the Web 1, which is also known as the static web or the read-only era. So businesses created websites where users could only read the content. So only the website owners could publish content, but users had no power, or rather what you call the consumers, us as the consumers, had no power to interact or respond to it. So it was one-way street from the creator to the reader. So during the Web 1 era, now we're calling it the read-only era, us as consumers, the only thing that we could do is only read the content. We could only interact with the content by reading only. The only people who could publish or write into these websites were the business creators or the owners of these websites. And that's why we call it the read-only era. Then immediately after that in 2004, we had what we call the Web 2 era, the read and write. Remember, Web 1 was the read-only era, but the Web 2, read and write era. So in 2004 marked the beginning of the Web 2, thanks to platforms like Facebook in 2004, YouTube in 2005, and WhatsApp in 2009. So in this version of the web, users could read and write content. Us as consumers, we could read, and on top of just only reading like in the Web 1 era, this time around in the Web 2, we could also write the content. So platforms like Facebook and YouTube provided spaces where users created most of the content for fun, for likes, and for marketing, and many other more. So these services were mostly free to use, but it comes at a cost, our data. So in Web 2 era, we are now given the liability or the freedom to do what? To write into these platforms. And it is mostly for free. Rather, it is always for free, but it comes at a cost. What are we paying for? The data, our data. So if you are not paying for a product, always know this, that if you are not paying for a product, you are the product. So these platforms collect and use our data to target ads and generate revenue. So how do we get to understand this? So if you might have noticed that if you frequently search about cars from your Chrome, then your ads across all platforms then suddenly become about cars. You can use this example. Since you started studying crypto and all things charts, you'll notice, because you've been researching mostly about crypto, you've been researching mostly about charts, the advertisements across your platforms, across Instagram, across YouTube, all those advertisements have suddenly changed and now become about either cars, either charts, either crypto, either forex brokers, because of the charts. If you've noticed that thumbs up, if you've noticed that change, if you research about football, all your advertisements now will now change into football. That is basically how you pay. Remember, you are not charged to write on these websites, but they use your data to generate revenue. So though users can now post, they don't control their own data. Now your content can be removed anytime. You've seen cases of, for example, like Andrew Kibe was banned from YouTube. So like that, your content can be removed at any time, and companies can manipulate, delete, or monetize your data as they wish. That was the era of the Web 2. Then come Web 3, now the current Web 3 that you call the blockchain. So under this, remember the Web 1 was read-only. As the users, we could only, or their content consumers, we could only read the content. In Web 2, we are now given the freedom of reading and writing, but at a cost of our data. We post on their websites for free, but they use our data for monetary value. Now come Web 3, they read, they write, and own era. Now, Web3 is the next evolution of the internet, a shift from the centralized control to user ownership and decentralization. So in Web3, you get to read the data, you get to read, as the consumer, you get to read, you get to write, but on top of that, you get to own your own data. So what is Web3 bringing to the existing internet? They are bringing decentralization. Now, in Web3, platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram still exist, but instead of running on centralized servers, they run on the P2P networks like the blockchain. Now, this results in decentralized application, the dApps. Decentralized application, platforms that do not rely on any single company to control your data or digital identity. So, the key benefits of Web3, number one, from what you've learned, number one, decentralization. Now, no central authority controls the network and thus enhances the trust and the transparency. Number two, data ownership and control. So users control their personal data and they get the privilege of deciding who can actually access this data. Number three, improved privacy, blockchain encryption and decentralization, reduce of data breaches. So we had mentioned which technology does the blockchain use to encrypt data or for privacy? Which technology does the blockchain use to encrypt data? Someone? We mentioned this. When you're talking evolution of money, the first lesson ever that we ever covered. Joseph?
Cryptography.
Yes, cryptography. Let's appreciate Joseph. Yes, the cryptography. So by the use of cryptography, blockchain encryption and decentralization reduce the data breaches. The next one, smart contracts. Agreements are automated and enforced without intermediaries. So streamlining industries like real estate and the finance. We'll get to understand that better, what we're talking about real estate and finance when we'll be talking about implementation of the Web3. Then you have the next one, immutable data. Data stored on the blockchain is tamper resistant and secure. What you mean by immutable, you mean you cannot undo, you cannot undo what you've done on the blockchain. Immutable. So it's tamper resistant and it is very secure. Number four, incentives for participation. Users are rewarded with tokens for contributing to the ecosystem. Someone to give us an example that you can use to describe incentives for participation. Give us a technology and the token that was used as an incentives behind that technology. It's very simple. The technology behind a project and the token. In simpler terms, a token and its use case. Joseph?
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, yeah?
Decentralization and store value through mining.
Yes, decentralization of finance. Okay, let's have another one. Let's have two extra points. A coin and the incentive that was given behind its participation, or rather, give us a token and its use case.
XRP and cross-border payments.
Yes, XRP and cross-border payments. So just to mention another one, let me just mention another one. Solana, let me start with Ethereum. Ethereum provided a platform where people, or a technology called Solidity, if I'm not wrong, where people can create decentralized application. So Ethereum provided a platform where developers could create decentralized application. And for these developers to access this technology, they needed to buy Ethereum. So many people think that Ethereum is just about a coin, or any people might think that investing in cryptocurrency is just investing in coins, but they don't understand it's actually a technology. So like Ethereum provided a technology called Solidity where you could create decentralized application. And for you as a developer, for you to access that technology, you need to buy Ethereum to pay for that access. And that's why the price of Ethereum went high, because now many people are acquiring Ethereum to access that technology. That's the number one. Number two, we have Solana. Solana does the same thing with Ethereum. It provides a platform where developers can create decentralized application, but this time around at a cheaper price than Ethereum. So if you are paying maybe $10 to access that technology, when you're using Ethereum, then with Solana, maybe the price would be like $2 for you to access the same technology. And no wonder Solana is a good project to invest in, because the technology behind it is long lasting. So, and no wonder you're saying incentives for participation, users are rewarded with tokens for contributing to that particular ecosystem. Then you have lower transaction fees. Eliminating intermediaries definitely cuts down the cost. Censorship resistance. It's harder for governments or companies to suppress content on decentralized platform. For example, if YouTube was decentralized, it will be so hard for a person like Andrew Kibe to be banned on that platform, because it is decentralized. And the meaning of decentralization is actually there's no one owning that particular platform. Also, to add on that, remember, they can also not delete your content like they did to Andrew Kibe. They cannot delete your chat and your account, and they cannot delete your content. Why do you think so in Web3? Why can they delete your data? We've mentioned that right now. It was point number 2. Why? Pius?
Because you cannot redo.
Yes,
undo.
You cannot undo an action on the blockchain. The blockchain is, the best time to use it, the blockchain is immutable. It is tamper resistant. So the other point, user empowerment. Individuals have control over their finances, their data, and their digital interactions. The last one, innovation. New tools and platforms in finance, healthcare, real estate, and other sectors are emerging rapidly due to Web3. And we shall look at that when we're looking at the use cases or the application of Web3 in real world assets, in real world applications. So why blockchain? Limitation. Before us to understand why we need blockchain, we need to understand the shortcomings of the current internet system, and that is the Web 2. So the limitation of the current internet system, number one, the internet has revolutionized how business operate. Companies like Amazon and Google thrive because of it. That's a fact. So originally, the internet was intended to be open and accessible to everyone, but today it is dominated by a few centralized companies. For example, if you want to distribute your video, dominated by a few centralized companies is maybe YouTube, TikTok, and that. So it is dominated by few centralized companies. So this centralization contradicts the initial purpose of what? Of the internet, and it raises concerns about power concentration and control. So what are the problems with this? Number 2, the problems with the traditional financial system. When making online transaction, intermediaries like banks, intermediaries like banks or PayPal are required. So these intermediaries, number 1, their shortcomings, they charge higher fees. Number 2, they cause delays, especially for international transaction. Number 3, they introduce a central point of failure. If your PayPal has ever been shut down temporarily, thumbs up. You know how painful it is, or permanently. How do they say it? Yes, permanently limited. Thumbs up. Yeah, Victor can see you. Yes, permanently. So things like that. Introduction of a central point of failure. Number 3, the issue of trust in decentralized system. So even if we remove intermediaries, how do we trust the other party? So example, if you need to send someone money without a bank in between, what prevents them from claiming you never did? So trust was also the major missing piece in the decentralized system. So how does the blockchain solve these 3 problems that you've seen? Number 1, trust and transparency through the blockchain ledger. Remember we said the blockchain ledger is open source. So everyone can see everything that is happening on the blockchain. So the blockchain acts as a shared public ledger. Every transaction is recorded on that public shared ledger. The ledger is open source, so anyone can view it. Then it builds trust because all actions are what? Are transparent, number 1. And number 2, they are immutable. And that brings us to point number 2, immutability. Blockchain ledgers are immutable. So we say by immutable, we mean you cannot, once you've entered data, you cannot alter that data, you cannot undo that data, or neither can you delete that data. So how does this help us? It makes us reduce fraud. Number 1, it can also help us build trust and transparency in point number 1. But on top of that, it makes us reduce fraud, or manipulation is nearly impossible. Number 3 is just to understand the security that comes with blockchain, and that's the role. Remember we said that the technology that blockchain uses to ensure security is what we call cryptography. So what is cryptography? Crypt means hidden. Let me just move this. Crypt means hidden, whereas or rather a secret, where graph means written. So together, cryptography means a secret writing. So the blockchain runs on cryptography, which makes it highly secure. So if you want to understand more about how cryptography works, remember I said you can come to Kenya Crypto Magazine right here. If you want to learn in depth how that works, under this part, crypto education, you have cryptocurrency course and the Web3. So just come to Web3 and you'll see under the Web3, we have all the detailed information about Web3. In this class, we're going to just have a catch-up of what Web3 is, how to participate in it, and etc. But if you want an in-depth understanding of the Web3, just come to this part and you have a whole segment where we are discussing about cryptography. You can see topic number 7. This is where you understand in depth of how cryptography works, 2 types of cryptography, asymmetric and symmetric cryptography. And this is where you'll be able to understand things like public key and private key. Let's go to point number 4, peer-to-peer network, person-to-person network, the P2P. Blockchain works on the P2P network with multiple nodes. So it eliminates the need for a central server. So it brings about, the P2P network now brings about the concept of decentralization. Then it increases redundancy and fault tolerance. Lastly, cryptography ensures 4 key security principles. Cryptography, the technology that ensures security in the blockchain. Number 1, it ensures confidentiality. So through blockchain, although blockchain is open source, remember I said the blockchain is open source. Everyone can be able to see everything happening on the data. Though it is the blockchain is open source, cryptography ensures that sensitive data remains private through encryption. And if you go to this segment, you'll be able to understand how that is done. Like the data will remain open source, publicly available to everyone, but also private through encryption. Now that you're talking about private key and the public key, you can go to that and you'll be able to understand that. Number 2, we have integrity. It prevents data from being tampered with. It ensures that what's stored on the blockchain remains unchanged. unchanged. What you store on the blockchain will remain unchanged. What you've called immutability. Then number 3, have non-repudiation. Once a transaction is recorded, no one can deny performing it. Example, if you send funds, it is permanently recorded. You cannot later deny sending that fund. So non-repudiation, or what you call immutability. Number 4, authentication. It ensures that only the rightful owner can perform a transaction. So it uses public and private key for encryption and decryption. So the blockchain, in summary, the blockchain solves major internet financial system by doing what? Number 1, removing central authority like banks or etc. depending on the field. Like in the financial system, the central authorities are things like bank, PayPal, and etc. Reducing fees and delays. Then building trust through transparency, ensuring security through cryptography, and lastly, offering immutability and verifiable transactions. Any question up to that point before we go to who should get into blockchain? Any question? If everything is clear, thumbs up so that I can proceed. Up to that part, if everything is clear, thumbs up. Perfect. So let's look at who should get into blockchain actually. So blockchain technology is not just for the tech enthusiasts. It is a cross-disciplinary innovation that welcomes professionals from many fields. Many fields. If you actually attended the webinar that we had with GoChapa, thumbs up. In that webinar, we discussed many other ways that you can participate in the Web3 apart from just being a crypto enthusiast. Many other ways you can participate. So let's look at those things. Number 1, have the tech people. It's not a must for you to be a crypto enthusiast. You can be a tech person or a developer. So these are individuals with software development or engineering backgrounds. So their role is to build blockchain-based application. So what can they do? They can develop smart contracts. They can develop the dApps, the decentralized application. They can develop the blockchain protocols. They can create tokens, maybe meme tokens and etc. So the skills required include programming, what you've discussed, the Ethereum technology, Solidity, Rust, and JavaScript. So understanding of that's number 1, the skills they need. They include programming skills. Number 2, they need understanding of the blockchain architecture. And number 3, the cryptographic principle. So the people who should get into blockchain, number 1, the tech people or the developers. Let's look at number 2, advisors and the consultants. Let's say you don't know, you're not good at coding and everything. It doesn't mean you cannot participate in the blockchain. We have a slot here for advisors and the consultants. So let's look at that. These are professionals who understand how the blockchain works and can analyze use cases for the real world problems. You understand how the blockchain works, and you can actually look at a problem in the real world now, and come up with solutions that involve what? The blockchain. So they help governments and organizations. They help governments, number 1, organizations and enterprises to implement blockchain solution in various sectors. For example, land registry or title deeds, they can advise them to use the blockchain. And how the blockchain help? Placing land ownership records on the blockchain will help do what? Double allocation. Will help prevent double allocation, because remember that once you put data on the blockchain, it is immutable. It cannot be deleted. So once you've said this title deed belongs to Wanjiko, it will remain like that until the actual transfer is made. So anyone can actually confirm if this land belongs to Wanjiko alone. You as a person who wants to buy that land, you can go to the blockchain. Remember, the blockchain is open source. You can go to the blockchain, enter that title deed number, and you can confirm for yourself if that title deed belongs to Wanjiku. And this will help reduce what? It will help prevent double allocation, it will help prevent land theft, and it will help reduce the corruption in land transfers. Number 2, we have what we call the academic records or school certificates. So if you have the school certificates on the blockchain, it will help eliminate fake degrees and credentials, fake claims of academic qualification. For example, we had an issue with Sakaja where he said he was claiming that he was in campus. So if these documents were placed on the blockchain, it is giving us as the public. Remember, the blockchain is open source, so it gives you the mandate, or rather the freedom, that you can go actually to the website, not to the website, to the blockchain, and confirm for yourself if Sakaja actually went to that university and and was accorded that degree. So it will help reduce false claims of academic qualification. So real life example, Strathmore University has implemented blockchain for certificate verification. So each certificate includes a QR code. So scanning that QR code allows anyone to verify the certificate authenticity on the blockchain. So it promotes trust, number 1, and transparency in the education and the employment sector. Let's look at the third way to participate in the blockchain: experts and the architects. So these are seasoned professionals who specialize in blockchain architecture and the system design. So their responsibilities include, number 1, designing the underlying infrastructure. Number 2, choosing the right consensus mechanism. Consensus mechanism are things like proof of work, proof of stake. We talked about this. We talked about proof of work, proof of stake. There are so many, I cannot even remember. But the main 2 are proof of work and proof of stake. Then lastly, they ensure the scalability, security, and the efficiency of the blockchain system. Any question on Web3 before we move to the next thing? Any question about Web3? If everything is clear, thumbs up, so that you can move to the next thing. Perfect. Let's move to the next thing. Let's understand. We have talked about our degrees can be on the blockchain and all that, but remember it's in a pictorial form. How can our degrees be put in the blockchain? They'll be put there as an NFT, as an image. Title deeds, how can title deeds be put in the blockchain? They'll be put there as an image. So what are images called in a blockchain, or rather in Web3, is what you call the NFTs. So let's dive into what NFTs are. NFTs in full is what you call non-fungible tokens. Non-fungible, NFT, non-fungible token. So what does non-fungible mean? So for us to understand what non-fungible means, we have to understand what fungible means. Fungible means interchangeable. Example, you can easily swap 5 coins, 5 Kenya shilling coins for 1 10 shilling Kenya note, because the value is equivalent. 5 coins, Kenya shilling coins, are equivalent to 1 10 Kenya shilling coin. So it is interchangeable because the value is equivalent. So example, 1 Bitcoin is equals 1 Bitcoin because the value is uniform. But when it comes to non-fungible, it means non-interchangeable. So each item is unique and it has its own distinctive value. Example, in real life, you can't exchange a Mazda, for example, a Mazda Demio, for a Range Rover just because they are both cars. Yes, we understand they are both cars, but the value between a Mazda CX-5 and a Range Rover is totally different. They are not interchangeable, non-fungible. So in short, NFT means you cannot exchange a CryptoKitty NFT for NBA Top Shot NFT because they are 2 different things. An NBA Top Shot NFT, for example, for LeBron James, let's assume have an image of LeBron James. an NBA Top Shot NFT is of high value than a basic thing like a crypto kitty. So they are basically not interchangeable because their values are different. An NBA Top Shot NFT can be of high value than a crypto kitty. So non-fungible, not interchangeable, because they have unique values, or they are unique digital assets. So what does token mean? Remember, non-fungible tokens. We've done what we mean by non-fungible, which is non-interchangeable. So let's look at what token means. A token is something physical or digital that represents value and lives on the blockchain. So it acts as a proof of ownership or authenticity to an asset. Example, a video of LeBron James dunking. Dunking is that action of throwing the ball into the net, is a digital asset. So when that video is minted as an NFT, it becomes a unique digital collectible that someone can sell or own. So in short, NFT means non-fungible token, and it is a unique digital certificate. So non-fungible tokens, it's a unique digital certificate stored on the blockchain. So it proves that you own a specific digital item. For example, if you have your image of your degree on the blockchain, it's a unique digital certificate that is stored on the blockchain. So it proves you own that degree, that item, or it proves you own that specific digital item. And that item could be digital art, it could be music, it could be virtual land or title deeds, it could be a video, it will be game items, memes, and many other more. So a simple analogy, think of an NFT as a baseball card. So only one original exists. It is rare and collectible. It has value due to its uniqueness and authenticity. So NFT bring that same concept to the digital world with blockchain-powered verification. Let's look at examples of real-world examples. We have NFTs for Eliud Kipchoge career moments, and these NFTs was sold for $50,000. I think $50,000 is around 6 million, if I'm not wrong right now, with a value of $1 for 150 Kenya shilling. So it's around 6 million. So the Eliud Kipchoge career moments was sold as an NFT for $50,000. So his legendary achievements were packaged and auctioned as unique digital assets. And here it is. Eliud Kipchoge career highlights sold as NFTs for 50,000. So the NFT is this one. This picture right here was sold for how much? 50,000 Kenya shillings. These ones, this one, they were all sold for 50,000 Kenya shillings. Not Kenya shillings, $50,000, which is approximately 6 million Kenya shillings. The Ghanaian coffees, you must have seen them. If you saw them over the Corona period, thumbs up. The Ghanaian coffee dancers. It was very prominent over the COVID times. Let me show you an image. You'll be able to see that. These ones. If you saw that over the COVID times, thumbs up. Great. The Ghanaian coffee dancers sold their viral dance meme. Imagine their viral dance meme as an NFT for $1 million. I can't even convert that in my head in Kenya shillings. But probably 1 million by 160, 128. So that's the value in Kenya shillings. $1 million. This image right here, this video, this one right here, this image and the video, that meme, they sold that for 1 million USD. That's around 128 million Kenya shillings. Joseph Okaria just texted that in the group. 128 million Kenya shillings. Only this. That's how valuable NFTs are. Then you have players like LeBron James have videos of them dunking as NFTs. You can see that. And it went for 200K. This image, just this image, was sold as an NFT for $200,000. $200,000 is approximately 23 million Kenya shillings. This image only. You can see how valuable NFTs are. We have also Octopizzo also had his album Fuego listed as an NFT on the Honey coin exchange platform. You can see that Kenyan hip hop star Pizzo announces NFT drop for his upcoming music album known as Fuego. You can see that. So he actually posted, or rather had his album as an NFT on the Honeycoin marketplace. We look at NFT marketplaces. So just to understand in depth how valuable NFTs are, there's a video I want us to watch. But I noticed every time I share this video here, it's not people cannot hear it. So I'll do this. I'll send the link on the group. Then once you've done watching it, you can send a thumbs up. Then you can resume back here. It's a 1 minute video. So let me just send it right now. If you've done watching it, you'll send a 1 in the chat. If you've received that on your WhatsApp, thumbs up. If you received that on the WhatsApp, let me send. Kindly watch it. Then once done, send a 1 in the chat. Then you'll be able to resume back. Here's the video. Let me just play it here, so I can approximate the time you'll use to watch it.
Hey everybody, my name is Mike Winkleman, aka Beeple, and I am a...
Okay, this guy sold a piece of art on the internet for 69 million US dollars. Yes, he is the artist behind it. And today, I want to tell you his story from the beginning. This is Michael Winkleman, also known as Beeple on the internet.
Hey everybody, my name is Mike Winkleman, aka Beeple, and I am a digital artist from Charleston, South Carolina.
Everyone knows what he sold. Everyone knows how much he made.
It's the first NFT ever sold at auction, the most expensive NFT ever sold, and one of the 20 most expensive works of art, period, ever sold at auction.
But not many people know how he got here. Mike grew up in Wisconsin, USA, and to be honest, here there is not much to do. So Mike spent a lot of his time indoors on his computer learning how to use it.
Growing up, I always was fascinated with computers. As soon as we got a computer in 4th grade, it was just something that I found to be an object with endless possibilities. I immediately saw that this could be used for so many different things.
At an early age, he knew he did not want to be a lawyer or a doctor. He wanted to be an artist. But there is no money in art, and definitely no career, especially because his art was not good.
So if you look at a lot of the early stuff that I worked on, a lot of it looks like it was drawn by a kid, because I was very, very bad at drawing, and that was sort of the whole point of doing the everydays, was to get better at drawing. So a lot of the early stuff is pretty rough looking.
No money, no career, no future in art. But despite all of that, he was determined to become an artist. And the best way to do that, he thought, is to practice art every single day. So he committed. He took a pen and paper and drew something, anything. The first thing he drew was a picture of his uncle Jim. It was a basic, ugly design, but it was a start.
So the first everyday that I did was actually a picture of my Uncle Jim. It was a drawing. Again, this was in 2007, so I don't really remember why I decided to draw him that day. But yeah, it's just a very small picture of my Uncle Jim.
The next day, he drew another, and another, and another. After 100 days, he became a better artist. After 365 days, he learned how to design 3D art. And after 500 days, he learned how to make it look more real. No matter how busy he got, he created art every day, even when his kid was born.
It's one of these things where if you do have patience and stick with it and sort of go in with a kind of realistic attitude and realistic expectations, it is obviously something that, can work out. And I think I'm sort of proof of that, I guess.
Every design he made, he uploaded to the internet, and slowly people started to notice him. He did this every day for 13 years, 5,000 consecutive days, 5,000 pieces of art, 5,000 opportunities to become a better artist. And on day 5,000, he could design this.
So during the course of those 5,000 days, I have not missed a single day, and that's something that I take, very seriously. But, knock on wood, have not missed a day yet.
And this is where it gets super interesting. One day, Beeple wanted to sell all of his art, all 5,000 images and 13 years of work in one go. So he put them into one single NFT image, put it up for sale at a Christie's auction, and hoped for the best.
So in terms of the auction with Christie's, I didn't really have a huge expectation. It sort of, when it first, went up, I thought maybe it might go for like $1 million, because at that point, no NFT had ever sold for $1 million.
But Beeple did not know that he had a huge fan. 8,000 miles away in India, there was Metaverse, this guy. He loved the story of Beeple, he loved the commitment, and he loved the art. So he committed to buy it at all costs. And on the 11th of March, 2021, 13 years of work, 5,000 pieces of art went for sale. And Metaverse bought it for $69 million.
69 million? I think it probably means digital art is here to stay.
I'm going to Disney World!
And then as time went on, people started throwing out bigger and bigger numbers, but it was hard to believe these numbers were like real, and so when it finally sold, it was definitely absolutely like shocking.
This was not an overnight success. This was 13 years of hard work. And now that he is super rich from his hard work, Beeple is going to give away all that money to charity, to other starving artists, and to causes he believes in.
The only reason I'm in this position is because people have liked and shared and commented on my work, and that's what sort of has brought me, better clients and sort of more popularity, and that's what kind of put me in a position to sell this for, that amount of money. And so that's something where I really feel like I need to sort of give back and really want to give back, and that's something that, excites me more than going out and buying a crazy car or a crazy house or whatever.
This guy started by drawing his Uncle Jim on a piece of paper, only to sell it for $70 million 13 years later. This crazy story is not about art or money or crypto. This is about commitment. If you want to become better at something, if you want to learn how to cook, design, engineer, or write, you have to commit. Not every weekday, not every weekend, not when you feel like it. You have to commit every single day. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching Nas Daily. Nas means people in Arabic, humans. And we are on a mission to show you the stories of humans from all around the world. I'm actually very excited about the videos we're working on. So please follow us on Facebook and Instagram so that you don't miss a video. We think everybody in the world should watch them. Thank you and see you.
If you're done watching that, thumbs up. Great. Few questions. What was the name of the artist? The name of that artist? The owner of that art. What was his name? We're going to have just 3 questions. The name of that artist, someone? The name of that artist. You've just watched it right now. What was the name of that artist? If you've finished watching that video, thumbs up. Christian, your hand is up. What is the name of that artist?
Michael Winkelmann.
Yes, Michael Winkelmann. Okay, I've seen also Ambrose, your hand was up. So how much was that artist sold? That art sold for?
69.3 million US dollars.
Yes, 69.3 million US dollars. So another person, Joseph, your hand was also up. You finished watching the video. So how many years did this Michael Winkelmann take to complete that art? How many years? Joseph, how many years did Michael Winkelmann take to complete that art? Yes, Joseph, pardon? I didn't quite get you. How many years? Pius, your hand was also up. How many years did this Michael Winkelmann take? Pius?
13 years.
Yes, 13 years. And lastly, Thomas, your hand was also up. How many combined pictures were these, or art? How many pictures were those, or art? How many arts were those?
5K.
Yes, 5,000. So,
5,000.
yes, 5,000 pieces. So that's basically how NFTs operate, or how much an NFT can go for. $69.3 million. So let's look at NFT trends, value, and how to get started. So what can be turned into an NFT? Anything of unique and you own it can be tokenized into an NFT as long as the ownership and originality can be proven. So what can you post as an NFT? Digital art, your own personal pictures, music albums. You've seen that with Octopizzo's Fuego album. Sports moments, example, LeBron James dunking videos, gaming assets, meme or viral videos, as long as it's what? Unique, and you can actually prove the ownership and the originality of that asset. So in short, if it is rare, valuable, or meaningful, it can become an NFT. So let's look at NFT marketplaces. What are NFT marketplaces? NFT marketplaces are online platforms where users can mint, can buy or sell or trade NFTs. This is where you can post your own NFT. You can actually buy an NFT, mint, or even trade NFTs. So creators can upload their digital work on the NFT marketplaces. They can list it for sale, and they can set prices of fixed prices or auction prices. Buyers in return can do what? Browse digital assets, place bids, or purchase and own verified collectibles. So popular NFT platforms or marketplaces are, we have the OpenSea, Rarible, and Honeycoin. Honeycoin is where it is an African based, where Octopizzo listed actually his album. Then we have also an African focused NFT marketplace, which is the BFT marketplace. Let's see how OpenSea looks like. We have OpenSea. We have Rarible, Honeycoin, OpenSea. Is it Honeycoin like that? Honeycoin Marketplace. Then we have lastly BFT. BFT. This is also Kenyan based. The creators are actually South African Marketplace. I think this one, let's look at OpenSea as the first one. We have OpenSea, Rarible. Let me see which one is open already. The Honeycoin one, I've not found the original wallet, but anyway, these three are enough to have a look at NFT marketplace. And remember, we've said NFT marketplaces is where you can post your, as a product or as a consumer, you can go and buy NFTs, bid and all that, and get to own an NFT. But as a creator, you can get to post your own NFT right here. So this, for example, this is Rarible. Let's use this one that is open right now. You can see we have this GIF that someone has posted, and the price is 0.11 ETH. If you can see that, thumbs up. So if I want to post, if I want to buy this NFT, this one right now, it means now I need 0.11 Ethereum. So how do I get to this? To do this, I'll come to this part written connect wallet. Then I can connect my NFT marketplace, which is Rarible, to my wallet that has funds that I can use to buy these tokens. Remember, the funds for that assets are in Ethereum. So I'll need to have Ethereum in my wallet. Can be MetaMask, Coinbase, can be any wallet that you use. For example, maybe Trust Wallet. Just come connect it from that part. Then from that part, you can get to buy your favorite NFT from this part. What about if I want to post my own? You can come to undersell. Right here, after connecting your wallet, just come to undersell, and it will give you an option to post your assets at that particular juncture. You can come to see like OpenSea. They basically operate the same. You need to connect your wallet to these NFT marketplaces. I don't know why it's not opening. But you need to connect your wallet to this particular, perfect. You need to connect your wallet to this particular NFT marketplaces. Then after that, you can scroll down to choose your favorite NFTs that you need to own or to buy from that particular juncture. I don't know why it's misbehaving. Let's look at this. This is also another one, is an NFT marketplace. Buy the big five per token. Let me see. The African Metaverse, the big five marketplace. I can't see the link to that, but I'll find it and I'll send to you. But they basically operate the same. Just like this part, connect your wallet to that particular marketplace. Come, scroll down, get to buy any asset or any NFT that you want to own, or you can come and post your NFTs at that particular juncture. So NFTs can be used as a store of value. Just like people buy land, gold, or stocks, NFTs are considered as digital collectibles. I can see Christian is saying there's also a trade port. Let me just navigate to that message. There's also a trade spot in Sui ecosystem and Stargaze in Cosmos. So these are basically other NFT marketplaces. I don't know about them, but thank you for sharing that. Tradeport on the Sui ecosystem and Stargaze in the Cosmos ecosystem. Thank you for that. So NFTs can be used as a store of value. Just like people buy land, gold, or stocks, NFTs are considered as digital collectibles. So assets that can appreciate in value, cultural symbols or representation of movements. So you can buy NFT as an investment, showcase them in virtual galleries. We'll talk about virtual galleries in a few when we'll be discussing the metaverse. So show them in games or access private clubs or events and sell them later for a profit. So market trends. So someone will ask, is it worth to buy an NFT right now to invest in an NFT? Is NFT worth investing? Yes, but with caution. So NFTs mostly boomed in the last bull run, the 2021 cycle. Remember, every bull run cycle has a trending narrative, and in the current bull run, which is 2025, the current crypto trends are shifting mostly towards AI, infrastructure, utility tokens, gaming tokens, all that. So not majorly on the NFTs. So NFTs were quite a big thing in the 2020-2021 bull run. So NFTs today are a niche or project specific, not necessarily a good general investment unless you understand the market. You are collecting for passion and you're supporting a specific artist or a utility-based project. So how to choose a good NFT? I don't feel that this is important to look because we've just concluded that investing in an NFT in the 2025 bull run is not that profitable unless you want to support that as artist or you also want to just have a store of value. But anyway, just to quickly go through this, how to choose a good NFT. Number one, look for authenticity. Is the NFT verified on-chain? On-chain, we mean on the blockchain. Rarity, is it mint, limited edition, or wine of a kind? Number three, artistic value, high quality visuals or music. Then the creator's reputation. For example, you find Michael Wickelman has another art, it will be more reliable to invest in such. So a known artist or known platforms. Then utility, maybe it gives you access to events, games, and the metaverse. You'll see how this happens. Then community and ecosystem. Does the NFT have active users and developers? Then the market trends, the trending categories. And you've said in the 2025 bull run, the AI, the gaming, the real world asset are quite a thing in this bull run. So NFTs are exciting but also speculative. Always do your own research. Follow trusted marketplaces like we've mentioned, and only invest what you can afford to lose. So whether you're an artist, a collector, or a curious learner, NFTs offer a new way to store value and express creativity in the digital world. So instead of actually investing in an NFT, what you can do, you can act as an advisor. Go to the ministry of maybe a university, have them post degrees as an NFT. To do what? To ensure what we've talked about, to ensure that there is no immutability, there is no fake degrees and stuff like that. So how we can participate in NFT is actually finding a problem in the real world and understanding how we can use NFT to solve that problem. Have our title deeds as an NFT so that everyone, it can be open source and everyone can see who actually owns that land. And this will help in land frauds. It help prevent land frauds or maybe double location and stuff like that. So, and with that, now this concept will bring us to what you call the metaverse. So what is actually the metaverse? The metaverse refers to a virtual universe or a digital space where people can interact, they can socialize, they can work, you can also play and create using digital avatars and environments. So it's like a massive online world where you can do many of the things that you do, many of the things that you can do on the real world, but now this time around, you're doing them digitally or on a virtual setting. So imagine putting on a VR. If you've ever done a VR, most malls in Kenya have this virtual reality thing. If you've done a VR, thumbs up. If you have an experience with VR, virtual reality, thumbs up. No one has experienced virtual reality? VR, this, let me just Google. Maybe, for example, I'm not virtual reality gadgets. Yeah, let me just see that. Or images. This one. If you've participated or you've experienced a VR, thumbs up. No one. Most malls have this, mostly for playing games and stuff like that, a VR. But also there's some guys who do create, who host events on the Metaverse, or rather, they synthesize Kenya on Metaverse. They're called Meta Club. You can check out their events. They normally have events on major campuses. I attended one of that last year at KCA. They have these events. They had one at KCA. They also had another one at Alliance Francaise in town. So you can go there. They always offer free. It's for free for you to actually use their head gadgets or their VR gadgets, and you'll be able to experience how the metaverse is. So you can go follow them on Instagram. This is their website, and you will be able to see all the upcoming events. Let's see if there's an upcoming event right here. Most of the events are free, and if they charge, it's around like 500 shillings. It's not that expensive, but mostly they are free. I don't know why it's not loading. But anyway, this is their website. You can go follow them on Instagram or Twitter, and you'll be able to see, or rather to interact or know better about the meta or the metaverse, rather. The metaverse. They are a group of guys who actually are metaverse architectures. Or rather, they're called metaverse architectures. Yeah, they code these spaces, or they create this metaverse. Anyway, so imagine putting a VR, that is what we're talking about, or a headset, or using a computer or smartphone to enter this digital realm. Inside the metaverse, you can meet up with friends, you can attend events. Yeah, you can actually attend events. Actually, the last Beyonce concert, what was the name? I don't know. They were actually providing that where you can actually virtually attend that. If you're not available to attend that event physically, you could use a VR to attend that event virtually. So you can attend events, you can explore new places, you can buy virtual goods, you can play games, you can watch movies, you can create art, and so much more. So essentially, it's a fully immersive and interconnected digital universe where the boundaries between the physical and the digital worlds blur. So companies are working to build the metaverse by creating platforms, games. If you've played Roblox, thumbs up. Roblox. Yes, Roblox. Something like that. If you've played that, thumbs up. So that's an example of a game. As I can see. So it's an example of a game that actually incorporates the metaverse. So think of it as the next evolution of the internet, where instead of just browsing web pages, you can step into the digital world and interact with others in a more lifelike way. So let's look at this. The largest financial institution in the world, by market cap, the largest institution in the world by market cap. Financial institution. So banks versus cryptocurrency, you can see Bitcoin is topping the chart with $2.1 trillion. Then the largest institution in the world, or the largest bank in the world, is JP Morgan Chase. You can see it with 739, Bank of America, ICBC. Then we have Ethereum right here. And you can see this market cap has really changed. 2.1. During the making of these notes, it was not 2.1. It was actually 1. If you can see this, the market cap of Bitcoin was 1.163. Thumbs up if you can see that. 1.163. But currently we can see that it's around 2. It has doubled. Ethereum, it was 300 billion. Currently it's 300 billion. Let's see what it was. It was 402. Why do you think the market cap of Ethereum has gone down? During the making of this, it was in 2024. Ethereum market cap was 402 billion, but currently it's 300 billion. Someone, why do you think? Why do you think Ethereum slide?
Maybe the people for Ethereum are selling the Ethereum and getting into Bitcoin, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good reason. But the main reason is because Ethereum has really been behaving like a stable coin for a long time. Yes, so it has stabilized. It had stabilized for a long time, or rather what we call a plateau. It was not going up or going down. So many people lost their belief in it, and they removed their money from Ethereum. No wonder we've seen that down. But currently now, Ethereum, as of today, I actually was posting something on Twitter where Ethereum supply on the exchanges has actually gone down. And we know if the supply is down, what happens to the price, someone? If the supply goes down, what happens to the price? Someone. Sly again?
I think it goes up.
Yes, the price goes up. So yeah, we expect to see some good returns on the Ethereum ecosystem. So basically, we are talking about the largest financial institution. We've seen that the JP Morgan has become the first bank to enter the metaverse. So they have opened a lounge in the popular blockchain-based world, Decentraland, and this marks the banking giant entry into the metaverse. So what does this mean? JP Morgan, when you're in Kenya, if you want to open a bank account, you don't need to physically go to JP Morgan, but you can actually access them through their metaverse offices. They have the offices in the metaverse. You can access them through the metaverse offices, and you can use an avatar, attend, or rather go to their virtual offices, and you'll be able to open a bank account. So the JP Morgan Chase is the largest and the most well-known financial institution globally. It is a multinational investment bank and financial services company headquartered in the New York City. So why will the biggest bank in the world launch its services in the metaverse? So they have seen the future and that most people will be operating from the metaverse. So a question: name projects aimed to power the metaverse, or rather, projects under the metaverse narrative. Before you even answer projects under the metaverse narratives, someone to name any type of crypto narrative they know and give us an example of a token that is under that narrative. I'll start. Layer 1, we have Bitcoin and Ethereum. Someone else? Layer 1 is the crypto narrative. The examples of token under the Layer 1 is Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's go. Give us a crypto narrative and a token under that. Crypto narrative and a token under that narrative. Before I even mention the metaverse narrative. Joseph? I don't know what is happening today. I can't quite hear you.
AI render.
Yes? Pardon?
AI render.
AI, the AI narrative, an example?
Render and virtual.
Yes, render and virtual, correct? Okay, Christian?
Gaming,
The gaming narrative?
Axie Infinity, Sandbox, Decentraland.
Yes, we have all that. I can also mention one, which is the Gala. Gala token is also under the gaming narrative. Great. Another one? Sly?
Let me open. So yeah, the real world assets.
Yes.
We have the XLM, which is Stellar, HBR, Hedera.
And Hedera, we also mentioned a few tokens that I said under the real world asset that you can buy, which is Rio and the UBXS. Great. Okay, those are 3 examples. Let's go to what you are covering right now. Now give me examples of project under the metaverse narrative. And Christian has mentioned one that falls under the gaming and also the metaverse narrative. Joseph?
Sand and mana.
Yes, sand and mana. Mana is actually what is called the Decentraland, what Christian had mentioned. But anyway, if you want to access these narratives, crypto narratives, just go to your favorite coin, crypto aggregator, either CoinMarketCap, or you can go to CoinGecko. You can go to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko right here. And if you scroll down, you can see categories. Under the categories is where you get these narratives. So if you go to categories, you'll be able to see we have the smart contracts, we have the layer ones, proof of work, work liberty, all those. But as we want the metaverse token, let's see if we see the metaverse tokens. The NFTs, you'll see that we have the NFT, the infrastructure layer 2. Let's see if we get the metaverse. Perfect. You can even see that. Thumbs up, number 58. Thumbs up if you can see that. Metaverse token. So under that, that's where you'll find the sand, the mana, or what they call the decentralized. You can see we have render, we have Floki, the sandbox, what Joseph has mentioned. Mana, what I've said is also called the Decentraland. We have AX, Origin Trail, all these, the Inch. Inch is also a good token. All these are the tokens under the metaverse narrative. So we've looked at that and that. So the above means we are comparing banks versus crypto. We have already tackled that. So there's no need. This is just a screenshot of coins under the metaverse, render, sandbox, all that. It's just a screenshot of tokens under the metaverse narrative. So for us to actually understand or have a glimpse of how the metaverse works, I'll send a 9-minute video to your chats right now. And after you're finished watching it, the normal drill, just send a thumbs up so that we can proceed. So it's a YouTube video, 9 minutes long. So just watch it. After you're done, kindly send a thumbs up. Let me just send it immediately. There you go. If you've received it, thumbs up, so I can confirm people are watching it. If you have received that link, thumbs up. Perfect. So just watch it. Then once done, kindly send a thumbs up or a one in the chats.
One of the most popular celebrities of the hip-hop world, Snoop Dogg, has been investing in the well-known Metaverse for quite a while now. Now, when you hear the word sandbox, what comes to mind? Just a shallow box filled with sand for children to play in. While this definition might be correct, the sandbox being referred to in this video strictly pertains to the digital real estate world called the Metaverse, where it's part of one of the biggest Metaverse platforms right now. But how did Snoop Dogg turn this fast-growing metaverse into his very own Snoopverse? How did he end up releasing the world's very first music video shot in the metaverse? How is he investing in the metaverse and NFTs? Stick around to the end of this video and you'll get all of the answers you need. But if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button so you get notified anytime we drop a new video. Now let's jump right in. The Sandbox, Snoopverse, and NFTs, starting from being an online game in 2012 to becoming a metaverse platform on November 29th of 2021, Sandbox has gone through an incredible growth. It is currently the largest metaverse platform in digital real estate. For starters, defining the metaverse is pretty simple. A metaverse is a shared virtual space that is very realistic, immersive, and interactive with the use of augmented reality headsets and VR technology. There are several virtual worlds or metaverses where users can engage in different activities that are the result of a mix between physical and digital real estate. In a metaverse, you'll be able to be inside all your online experiences like shopping, meeting friends and family, gaming, attending concerts or events, and even engaging in digital real estate itself. This idea about the metaverse has been around for quite a while, or at least since Neil Stephenson coined the term metaverse in his 1992 novel Snow Crash.
Only one, which for most things is not a big deal. For example, watching a video. But if you want to do some cool things like, I don't know, web scraping, using code to automatically check sites like Amazon, Best Buy, or whatever, trying to find the new video cards that are coming out, 4090, or a PS5 or whatever. Actually, you may be watching this if there's a PS6 out. I'm jealous. Actually, I probably already have one because I'm using IP Royal. See, IP Royal is a proxy, and they're super useful for things like web scraping. So when you're trying to constantly ping Amazon, scrape their websites, and see what content is there all the time to see if there's something available in stock, or if you're trying to scrape Twitter or TikTok, trying to get information, get data, whether you're a person or a company, or maybe you're a hacker, and you're
There are also references in the gaming world like Roblox, Minecraft, and GTA, so the basics of the concept isn't that unfamiliar. While we already know what a metaverse is, Snoop Dogg has gone further to purchase lots of plots to make the Snoopverse a reality. From NFT sales, exclusive concerts, tour of the virtual reality, copy of his real-life mansion, and purchase of Snoopverse avatars, which can only be used in the Snoopverse itself. The Snoopverse is fast rising in value and popularity, so much that in the past year, someone paid $450,000 to be Snoop Dogg's neighbor in the Snoopverse when one of the virtual estates was put up for sale. The user, simply known as P-Ape, purchased the digital plot of land on the 3rd of December in 2021. Snoop Dogg is an American rapper, a media personality, and a well-known actor. He has since sold over 23 million albums in the United States and over 35 million albums worldwide. Snoop started building his virtual world on Sandbox in September of 2001, and by April 1st of 2022, he released the very first Metaverse music video in history. The video starts with Snoop asking how much his Metaverse is currently worth, and the answer was $4.8 million. This was from the $300,000 he originally started with. His entire NFT portfolio is worth $13.1 million, with the most expensive being the Crypto Pune number 3831, which is worth $2.57 million. In total, Snoop Dogg has 122 plots of land, 67 plots of premium land, and 3 estates. Now that is digital real estate on a wide scale. At this point, I'm sure you're wondering how he's even making money from the Snoopverse besides his sales of NFTs, and why is he so invested in the virtual world? A lot of celebrities are also a part of the Metaverse platform in different ways, but the Dogfather isn't playing at all. Not only did he create the Snoopverse, he also bought Death Row Records and then announced that he will convert the company into the first NFT record label. Snoop has taken over the popular record label that launched his career, and the rapper acquired the records brand at a $50 million value. Snoop Dogg was one of the 3 key artists responsible for the success of the legendary rap label alongside Dr. Dre and Tupac. Could you imagine getting signed up in the Metaverse as a rapper or a singer, but in real life? Think about it. You're none of those, but you still get paid and you still make your money. And Snoop Dogg has got some real big plans, and it brings a lot of questions to mind. How far is he willing to go? If you haven't clicked the subscribe button yet, you might want to take a few seconds to do so, just so you get notified when our next video drops on this topic. But why is Snoop Dogg so invested in the Metaverse platform? For starters, Snoop Dogg is more than a rapper. He's a brand just like every other celebrity. Celebrities know and understand the power of their names and their effects on everyday people. Their names associated with enterprises such as products, endorsement deals, and personal appearances are now being monetized. Monetizing their presence in the metaverse is an extension of what they're doing in the real world, and that's exactly what Snoop Dogg is doing. In the early 2000s, he became an all-purpose entertainer and entrepreneur, and by launching into the metaverse, he has created an environment for those who may not necessarily be a fan of his music to connect to his brand in person, which includes fashion, lifestyle, and weed, of course. As you already know, Snoop Dogg loves his weed, but he has built that brand into a multi-million-dollar empire. How does Snoop actually make money on the Snoopverse? Between his already launched three-dimensional avatar collection that players in the Snoopverse are able to create games with, access to his concerts, his events and pool parties, NFT sales, and access to virtual Dogfather items such as his personal car collection, the rapper is actually making thousands and millions of dollars. And that's just the beginning. He also plans to grow virtual cannabis, aka weed, and start up the first virtual restaurant pretty soon in collaboration with his son, Cordell Brodus. The two are really maximizing their metaverse presence, and this is only the beginning. So how can you be a part of the Snoopverse? To even be able to access the Snoopverse, you need to be on the sandbox as a user and with an avatar. Sign up using a digital wallet or social media account, and then sign into the Sandbox Metaverse website's homepage. Make sure your cryptocurrency wallet has been linked and create an avatar. Once you're done with that, you can join the Snoopverse with all its benefits. There are two types of passes: Early Access Pass and the Private Party Pass. Much like the Early Access Pass, the Private Party Pass for the Snoopverse comes with a lot of benefits that ordinary users will not have. The difference between the Private Party Pass from the Early Access Pass is that the Private Pass gives you exclusive access to get a sneak peek into Snoop Dogg's lifestyle, and it allows you to see Snoop's digital life closer than anyone else. For getting this, you will receive an invitation to Snoop's private party, which is what the pass is actually named after. Although the Early Pass has expired already, it was supposed to be before the Snoopverse got launched in early 2022. You see, that's not all though. If you're a huge fan of Snoop Dogg's music and love his concerts or events, or even if you have just wanted to go to his concerts but never really been able to, this pass is just for you. The Private Party Pass owners have access to Snoop's first ever Snoopverse concert and future concerts as well. So if you want to jam to some tunes by your favorite rapper, you definitely and exclusively can. Not to mention, it's also featured the official invitation to the opening of the Cosmo Art Gallery, which is access to the Snoop Avatar collection. You see, only 1,000 passes were available, so whenever another virtual concert will be held, be sure to buy yours as quick as you can. Snoop Dogg is no foreigner to the metaverses and NFTs, and he keeps going deeper into the virtual world of the Snoopverse. From all indications, he isn't planning to stop anytime soon. What do you think about the metaverse and its fast increasing growth? And are you willing to invest in it, or you still feel it might not stand the test of time? Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and for the beginners still trying to understand this concept of digital real estate and want to understand more about the metaverse, watch this video next where I'll break it down into more layman terms for you. I'll see you in the next video.
You may know of FlexJobs as a job search website, but
down into more layman terms for you. I'll see you in the next video.
I'm a natural bodybuilder.
If you're done watching that, thumbs up. You're finished watching that particular video, thumbs up. Okay, Sly, let's give guys some 2 more minutes. Once you're done watching, kindly send a thumbs up here so that we can proceed. If you're done watching that, thumbs up so that we can cover the last part of this class. Thumbs up kindly. Christian is done. Joseph. Ambrose. Okay, quite a number is done. So we can actually proceed to the last part of this class. But before that, a question. What was the name of, or rather, what's the name of Snoop Dogg's neighbor? Snoop Dogg's neighbor, or rather, how much did they acquire that virtual land for to be Snoop Dogg's neighbor? How much was that land? Just to be Snoop Dogg's neighbor, how much was that land? On the virtual land rather. Sly?
I think if I remember, I think it was 24 million.
24 million? Not quite, but good trial.
$150,000.
Yes, Ambrose?
$150,000.
150?
I thought so.
Not yet. Or I'm the one who got it wrong. No. If I'm not wrong, it was $450,000. Yes, $450,000. And the name of that neighbor is actually PA. I'm assuming it's a pseudonym. And he acquired that land in 2021. So that's basically about that video. So how do we get to join the Metaverse? This is the last part of this class. How do we join the Metaverse? Joining the Metaverse joining the Metaverse involves accessing virtual worlds and digital environments through various platforms and technologies. So here's a general guide on how to get started. Number one, choose a platform. There are several platforms and applications that offer access to the Metaverse. So the most popular platforms are the virtual reality, the VR, like we've talked about. We have the Oculus, then have the HTC Vive, social gaming platforms like Roblox and Fortnite, and virtual world platforms like Decentraland and the Second Life. So depending on your interest and the type of experiences you're looking for, you can choose a platform that best suits your preferences. Like, for example, the one if you want to access Snoop Dogg's concert or anything, which platform do you need to sign up on? The video actually described which platform you need to sign up on. Which platform? Someone? Was it HTC, social gaming, Roblox, Decentralized, Second Life? What was the name of that platform? Someone?
Snoopverse.
Snoopverse is the name of that land, his land on the...
Wow. Okay.
But with a platform to access that Snoopverse, which platform?
I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you. Sly?
Decentraland.
Not quite there, but the sandbox. It's the sandbox. You need to sign up on the sandbox for you to access Snoop Dogg's Snoopverse. So, depending on your interest, for example, if your interest is to attend Snoop Dogg's virtual event or go to his weed shop or something, what you do, you sign up on the sandbox. So, in this case, I'll prefer we explore the Decentraland. So Decentraland is a virtual reality platform built on the Ethereum blockchain that allows users to create, explore, and interact with virtual worlds and assets. So it looks like this. Let me just copy this. Let me copy that I hope it opens up quite fast, but I'll send that link. You can explore it on your own. Right here. So this is a desktop platform called the decentraland.org, where you can get to do a number of things from this. Just sign up to this, then you can get to hang out with people and everything. You can explore this on your own. I'll send it in the group. You'll be able to access, or rather explore, the metaverse on your own. So the Decentraland, for the purposes of this class, you can use the Decentraland because everyone can access that. It's a platform that is accessible by phone and by laptop. So you don't need to have a VR. So you can explore the metaverse using the decentraland.org. So what is Decentraland offers? It offers virtual reality platform built on the Ethereum ecosystem, and it allows users to create, explore, and interact with virtual worlds and digital assets. So here is a virtual, or rather here is a guide on how Decentraland works. So on entering Decentraland, to begin your tour, you first need to access Decentraland through your web browser or compatible VR headset. In this case, we shall use just our web browser because we don't have a VR headset. But if you have a VR headset, you can actually access the the Decentraland using your VR headset. So upon entering Decentraland, you'll find yourself in a central plaza known as the Genesis Plaza. So this is the hub of the activity in the Decentraland where users gather and interact. So then you can have the option of exploring the districts. Decentraland is divided into different districts. Each district has its own theme and activities. Some popular districts include the Vega City, Dragon City, and etc. So explore different districts to discover unique landmarks, art installation, social places, and stuff like that created by users on the virtual world. Number 3, you can attend events on the Decentraland. Decentraland hosts a wide range of events. For example, when you attend the Meta Club events, all their events, if you cannot attend them physically, like I did attend physically or at KCA, what you can do, they also host those events on the Decentraland. So you can attend the Meta Club events on the Decentraland. The Decentraland hosts a wide range of events. For example, the Meta Club events, including virtual conferences, concerts, art exhibitions, and social gatherings. So check the event calendar, to see what is happening in the Decentraland during your visit, and you can join any live event. Number 4, you can actually purchase virtual land on the Decentraland. If you're interested in owning a piece of land, maybe become Snoop Dogg's neighbor, what you can do, you can purchase land parcel using a platform's native cryptocurrency, which is Mana. Remember, every Decentraland platform has their native token. For example, Binance is a centralized exchange, has their native token as BNB. So also when it comes to this to metaverse platforms, they also have their native tokens. In this case, for the Decentraland, you'll need the native token, which is Mana. So if you want to buy an asset or land in the Decentraland metaverse platform, you need to have the base token or the native token, which is Mana. So owning land allows you to build and monetize your own virtual experiences within the Decentraland. So whether it's a virtual storefront, you can have an art gallery, maybe you're an artist, post your arts on NFT, then come to Decentraland, own a land, and create an artificial store. Not an artificial, a virtual store, a virtual art gallery where you can post all your art. I've lost count. So the next one, interacting with others. Decentraland is the social platform. So don't hesitate to strike up conversation with other users and make new friends. Who knows, you might be talking with Beyonce herself. So you can communicate with users using text chat, voice chat, or emotes, depending on your preferences and settings. Second last point, customize your avatar. Avatar is basically your digital presence. Those emoji-like things that you've seen there, cartoon-like things, those are avatar. So you can personalize your avatar. If you've seen that Snoop Dogg avatar, it looks, or rather represents how Snoop Dogg looks like. So you can customize that to look like you, personalize your avatar to reflect your identity, your style by choosing from a variety of clothing, accessories, or appearance options. So express yourself and stand out in the virtual crowd by customizing your avatar to look like your liking. Now, lastly, enjoy the experience. Above all, enjoy your time in the Decentraland. Whether you're exploring virtual worlds, attending events, or meeting new people, Decentraland offers a rich and immersive experience unlike any other. So remember that Decentraland is constantly evolving with new content and features being added regularly. So keep exploring and discovering all that is in the virtual world. Any question up to that part? That's the last thing we'll cover in this class. Any question? If you now understand the impact, the heavy impact of Web3 and the blockchain into the normal world, thumbs up. Yeah, perfect. So if no question, I'll end this class at this juncture. We'll meet tomorrow to we'll go back to charts, and tomorrow will be the first day we'll be looking at futures trading. Otherwise, guys, have a good night, be blessed, and let's meet tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye, good night.